Yeah, I just realized I have my wrong glasses on. So I am tuning in, or turning on, tuning out, whatever it is, a minute early because I thought this would be beneficial. So I'm doing a TikTok live for the next hour. And as I was walking around my house, I realized because the sun is out, how dusty some of my surfaces are. So what I decided to do in these moments before my TikTok live, I'm not going to take the whole day. No, not going to take the whole day, but man, when I see some stuff, I got a little Swiffery type cloth in my hand, and the places where it's dusty that I can see, I'm going to sweep off. And I just want to tell you that this is what it's all about, Charlie Brown, which is decluttering, yes, of course, but after you declutter, it's kind of like puttering around and just maintaining things a little bit at a time, okay? So now the funny thing is, it is now 10 o'clock. I will now go to where I'm going to sit down and do my TikTok live. But as I walk through my house, I'm going to see where this morning I had emptied a few dishes from the dishwasher. Um, what else did I do? Over here, I took my vitamins, a little maintenance here, a little maintenance here, if you can hear the washing machine going on. So good morning, Dana. What else did I do? I did, not a ton of stuff, but every little bit helps. And you guys, check this out. I thought this would be really fun and funny. You may notice that my background is not where I normally am in my house. You'll also notice I have my glasses. So good morning, everybody. And it is me, Beth, Destination Decluttered, but I thought this would be kind of fun. Little Mr. Rogers glasses action. Good morning, Mary. So I am in my husband's office studio room. He is away momentarily doing some musician-y things, and oh my God, if you want to see dust, stop me before she dusts again. She's tidied up and I can't find anything. So good morning, all. I thought it would be fun to mix it up. And I got to stop dusting in here. But I am here to help you with your clutter. And you know what? Why the heck not? Why not make it fun? Yes, a new view, right. Here's Laura Gibbon Voorhees, what I want to share. So my husband he's actually on his way home. I texted him before I turned off my messages to do this TikTok live for the next hour. He was away doing some songwriting and music-y stuff last night, and he stayed over, wisely so. And so I said, hey, why the F not? I can do a TikTok live from any room in the house, and now that you're not here, I don't have to worry about disturbing you, but also it might be kind of fun to mix it up. So here I am. And then next week too, for folks who know when I'm doing TikTok lives, I got to be honest. I don't know off the top of my head. Notice that phrase, off the top of my head. I don't know off the top of my head when I'm doing TikTok lives next week. I may not have scheduled them yet. I have a feeling I didn't, but I will today. But the neat thing is he's going to be out doing some more music-y things next week, so maybe I'll make it fun. I don't like it when things get too mundane, they get boring. So maybe next week I'm thinking of doing a TikTok live from a different room in the house every day. So anywho, make it fun. If you're bored with decluttering one room, mix it up and start with another room. You're going to run into the same things over and over again, so why not do it? Okay? So speaking of rock stars, guitars, Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, I feel like a rock star because even though I've been bedridden, yes, blowing your nose, even though I'm bedridden, I got rid of 2 things yesterday. Yes, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps is like my mantra, actually. It's wicked funny. It's on the other side of my mug today. I downgraded to a smaller mug today. And I said that to myself today, so I share it with you. Abbott Elementary, nice to see you, dear. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. I am feeling a wee bit better, mainly because I've been treating myself better. So if you're not feeling good, treat yourself better today than you did yesterday. What can you do for yourself just a little bit better yesterday? Could you drink a little bit more water? Could you stretch your body? Could you get some fresh air in your lungs? Could you eat something slightly more healthy than yesterday? What else did I do yesterday that felt good? I ate some kale. Sadly, I mean, not sadly, but no, that was the day before. Regardless, no, that was, I can't remember. What I want to offer to you is, yes, good to breathe this morning and ease in. Yes, breathing and easing and breathing. This is what we're here for, because we will not do anybody any good, especially ourselves, but including ourselves and anybody we love. We will not be able to do the things we want to do if we're feeling crappy ourselves. It's like wanting to go on a journey but not prepping your car for it. If you don't have gas in your tank, if your windshield is foggy and you haven't wiped it off, or there you go, no windshield wiper fluid, your oil needs to be changed, your tires are bald, you've got crap all in your car, that's no way to start a road trip, and it's no way to start the day. So I offer this to you. Good morning, Judy. Nice to see you, and Laura and Susan. Again, I'm going from the Mr. Rogers transitioning my glasses from one thing to another to the romper room portion of the show. So if you are a Gen Xer, you know what I'm talking about, romper room. I think because these are the first words I've spoken out loud today that my Boston accent's coming out. Now, I love this. So LA 64367 says, we're just going to say, got new tires yesterday. Done. Yes, notice why you get new tires. You get new tires so you can move ahead safely. So you're not afraid that you're going to skid or pop a tire, or you're not fearful of being unsafe. You know? There we go. So, now user Cheryl64 says Joanne was on Mirror on Romper Room. Very cool. Beth, Destination Decluttering Life Coach, we had Miss Jean where I was from. I was never on Mirror. Gosh, the Boston accent is strong today, people. Breaks next. Okay, yeah, we got snow dumped and it was terrible. So what can you do when something terrible is dumped on you? You can see what you can do to improve, you know? Now, I love this. Lisa says, cleaning the silverware drawer thanks to running into you, and found the cap to the garlic powder. Awesome. Here's a fun thing I want to share with you guys too. I don't know if you remember, but a couple of days ago I did a TikTok live. And for those of you who are just meeting me, I do TikTok lives pretty much every day, except when I don't. But I do schedule them. And if you want to get the schedule, go onto my website and sign up for my mailing list and you get the schedule. Oh, there you go. Lisa's got her Rhode Island accent. I love it. Reminds me, all of those New England accents remind me of home. Here's a fun story I wanted to make sure I shared. First of all, I thought this was funny because as I was getting ready today, it's like, who knew I would be a trendsetter? Who knew I would be a trendsetter and inspiring Pamela Anderson to show up on the internet without a lot of makeup on? So that cracked me up this morning. But the second thing was, so I am a decluttering life coach and I do TikTok lives every day, but different times every day. Again, I like to keep it fun and flexible and casual and engaging. If I had to show up every day like a robot or a zombie or a factory worker, I would not enjoy that. Me showing up at different times allows me to enjoy what I do. So I offer that to you as a clue. What are some mundane things you need to do, but how can you spice up your life? How could you make it a little bit more interesting? So a few days ago, I did a TikTok live, and I promise I'm getting to a point. I did a TikTok live, and I mentioned sitting at my kitchen table, so I think it was Saturday, and I had a couple of salt shakers, and I mentioned this one salt shaker right here. Now, I was saying how it is a functional item, but it also has sentimental attachment to it. But there's only one, and I wanted to be a bit Noah's Ark and get like salt and pepper. Do 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 do. Yo 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 yo. Salt and pepper. Anybody? Anybody? The neat thing is, I'm sharing this with you because get into your toys and your stuff and start playing with them. Start touching them. Start looking at them. See them. Get into being mindful. And I share this with you because it was really sweet. One of my one-on-one clients, after that TikTok live, Gina, if you're tuned in, shout out. She's on the West Coast, so I'm not sure how the time is working out. She sent me a link to a couple of salt shakers on eBay that looked like this. And Christina is from Salt Lake City, Utah. I love the salt. And I said, oh, thank you so much for sending those to me. They weren't quite right. And I pulled this out and I said, because the salt, the ones that this one has these little dealies right here. And as I was showing it to her, I noticed something I had never noticed before, that this has a U.S. patent number on it. Now, I will admit, because I am Gen X and I have had eye problems all my life, I needed to take my glasses off, and I kind of magnified. This was so fun, you guys. I am so freaking excited. I looked up the patent number. Thank you, Internet. I found the patent of this, and I discovered it's going to be a rabbit hole that I'm so excited to get to, is to jump in and discover all about the guy who invented this salt shaker, also invented some other cool things. You know, I could put, Cat Mama's asking, could you put salt and pepper in the one? Now that's an interesting thing. I could do that, but I am team salt more than I am pepper. I always feel like pepper is almost like the beard. Like, you know, when you're hanging back in the day, you know, gay people, it's like you needed that, you know, counterpart to look like a heterosexual couple. To me, when I always ask, oh, could I have salt and pepper, please? I never really want the pepper. It's just so people don't realize how much I like salt. Cat Mama, interesting thing though, my father-in-law, I can't even pronounce it the right way. My father-in-law, Bob, used to have salt and pepper in a salt shaker just for corn on the cob in the summer. But the neat thing is, I want to share with you, there was something else about this. Oh, you have things for reasons, and you acquire things for certain reasons. And sometimes, and I'm speaking from a collector shopper perspective, so if you shop, if you're out there getting stuff out in the world and bringing it into your house, you have many reasons why. Some of them are just purely functional. We are running out of toilet paper, I need toilet paper. Other times you're on an adventure. You are there searching for that thing that is, and so you have a reason to go out there and search. Now, when I did a little Google search for this salt shaker, good morning, Robin, when I went onto the internet and I found a little bit more information about this salt shaker, I then was able to more accurately look it up on the internet, and yes, there were some people selling pairs of these, and they were like $90. Now, do I need a pair of these for $90? No. But you know what's more fun to me, and this is the thing, is the thrill of the hunt. The going out and saying, okay, now I know more what it is. When I'm out thrifting or at a garage sale or an antique place, I will know to look for one of these. This will be something that I can play I Spy, and I've given my brain and my eyes something to focus on when I'm out going to things. So I share this with you because this is sentimental to me, but the acquisition of a pair of them is not just about having the thing. This is the interesting thing to me about eBay back in the day. It kind of takes some of the fun out of it. So notice the things in your home. Notice, I'm going to swing it on back. Notice the things in your home that are like the evidence of the fun you had acquiring it. The story, the souvenir of the place, of the journey. It's not just about having the thing. If anything, if any of my fellow collectors and shoppers are here, it's almost like once you get it, it's like, yay! Okay, well, now what do I do with it? And that's sometimes how your house gets filled with stuff. So I share this specific example to just get you curious about the items you have in your house, how they got there, and why they're still there. You know? Now, I am going to have fun looking for one of these. When I get it, it will turn into a functional item. I will put them on the kitchen table, but I also will probably just mostly use the salt, not the pepper. So anyhow, how are you doing with your stuff in your house? Notice all the thought and time it took me to tell that story. Your stuff tells you stories too. Now you get to decide. Do your things tell you a good story? Do your things tell you a bad story? Now, interesting thing, yeah, and this is a funny thing. I love this too. Thank you, LA64367. Now you have others aware of that shaker too. Yeah, so all y'all, we're all in this together. If anybody is out thrifting, do not go buy anything. But like if you're thrifting and you see one of these ones and it's got a little clip on it, You know, if it's under $10 maybe, buy it, tell me, we'll coordinate, and I'll reimburse you. And that would be a fun story of how I connected up with somebody from one of my TikTok lives, being a declutter coach, helping to kind of, you know, I collected the two of them, you know? Now, I love this. Lasarda was saying, I love being in the motorhome. I have what I need. Everything has a place. I'm not overloaded with stuff. Yes, imagine if your house right now was not a motorhome. Can you imagine how heavy it would be to pull around with you? Would you even try to do that? You know? Yeah. Linda is saying, and I remember these days too, my husband and I collected so much carnival glass. The hunt was fun. Yes, the hunt is fun. The hunt is fun, but sometimes getting it, once you have it, and then you're on display and you use it, and you get that kind of good feeling. But after a while, it just becomes, as they would say in Oliver, because it's going through my head today, part of the furniture. Just becomes that. And then I had to downsize the collection. I have been, and maybe you have too, in your life, in your teens and 20s and 30s and maybe even 40s, in acquisition mode. You are acquiring items you didn't have, but at a certain point, excuse me, and maybe it's in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond, maybe you realize, ooh, I have acquired too much. And yes, LA64367, too much to dust. You know it. Right now, I'm looking at my husband's place, and I'm like, man, he's surrounded by dust. Notice the things that bug you that don't bug somebody else. Perfect timing, Kim. Kim is asking, how do you get a partner on board with decluttering? So this is really funny that I'm going to talk about this when I'm sitting in my husband's office, literally from his perspective. What I want to offer you is two things. One is show up with love, show up with patience for yourself and for them. If you show up as a bull in a china shop, you may not get the result you want. Now, trust me, I say this from experience because I do this more often than I should as a coach, because I turn into wife and I get frustrated because these things tell me stories of him not dealing with it. He isn't as bugged at the dust in his room as I am. He has a different level of caring, or not even caring, that's kind of a judgy word. He has a different tolerance level for dust than I do. This is why I am in the room up there, which is dusty, not dusty, and bright and clean, and not, whatever. So yeah, so notice that different people have different levels of tolerance for the stuff, the clutter, and sometimes it helps them think. What's that little thing that people, the ADHD mind especially, like, a cluttered desk is the sign of a creative mind. Now, my husband is creative like nobody. He makes things look so easy. That man just poops out songs. He makes learning something on guitar seem so easy. So that's where his talent is. So if I happen to be Miss Yakimoto or whatever it was, and she blinded me with science, I tend to be I tidied up and he can't find anything. They don't see it, but also I attempt to cut him some slack in this room. This is his room. I guess you'd call it a man cave, but I hate that word. Like that. Ugh. However, in the communal areas, in the areas of the house where we share space, it is not just about him. And it's not just about me, it's about us. Yeah, it's about us. So in the communal areas, there should be an equal or, equivalent responsibility so that it doesn't go to just one person. Now, we're pretty good at that. We are. Do I have laundry doing it and I emptied some dishes and I did some dusting and he's not home? Yeah. But you know what? When he gets home, we were down the basement this weekend. He's going to load up the car and drive things over to Habitat for Humanity. I don't care to vacuum, though I just bought a new one of those stick vacuums, not on TikTok. And that may make it easier, but I'm like, okay, could you just vacuum because I can't stand vacuuming. He also tends to be the one that cooks the food and I eat the food and we clean up. So notice what the division of power is, what the division of responsibilities are in your home and how you feel about that. And having said that, everybody, decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering is a life skill. Debbie's asking, which stick vacuum did I buy? I don't know. It's got some weird name. I don't know. It had some good reviews online, and I said, okay, that looks good, and I hit buy because I just needed it. Yeah, Lizardo says, my husband and I complement each other. Oh, you look lovely. Oh, I look lovely. Well, thank you so much to you. I get that. But also the yin and yang, the balance of it. My husband and I complement each other. He is good at picking up. I'm not, yet like to deep clean. Yeah, my husband and I tend to be of the, he will do the big kind of heavy stuff, and I'll go and do the detailing work. Now, the interesting thing is that his stuff tells him stories, but it doesn't tell me stories. I am surrounded by things right now that just look like black boxes with knobs and cords on them. He knows every single damn one of these things. So notice that your things tell you stories, but everybody's stuff tells them stories. Okay? So if you want to get somebody else to participate, notice I am learning to use better language. I'm not saying help, because help implies this is your role and I am assisting you with something that's yours. What I'm saying is participating in the mutually beneficial actions of decluttering and maintaining a home that when it's done, it is better for everybody involved. Decluttering, this is one of my things that it would be on a mug, but I already made too many mugs. Decluttering is a life skill. Yeah, decluttering is a life skill. Everybody should know how to declutter because decluttering is decision making. Excuse me. Decluttering is decision making. Decluttering is deciding what you want in your life and keeping it and taking care of it and displaying it and using it and all that stuff. And decluttering is deciding what you don't want in your life. Now some of my concepts are scalable. They are. You can apply it to clutter. You can apply it to people. You can apply it to a lot of things. Other ones don't scale as well. But just think about it. Everybody benefits from deciding what they want and doing something about it and what they don't want and doing something about it. Now, I'm going to check off because Gen X Girl 84, I am also Gen X, suggestions on what to do with 8x10 framed photos you no longer want to display. Yes, 100%, because I've done this myself and I'm doing it myself. Very first step is to dismantle them. I guess you would mantle them. If you're dismantling something, did you mantle something? Unframe them. Take them out of the frame. Chunk them down. Separate the story from the item. Separate the picture from the frame. 2 reasons. Because you don't really, if you're not displaying them, the frames just take up space. And then once you dismantle them, you then can do a number of things that may not be as easy with the frames. Or excuse me, of the picture. Now that you've separated the picture from the frame, and I have done this many times, and I used to work in a frame store. I rarely frame things now. I am very conscious now of what I frame because I know 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years from now, somebody else is going to have to deal with what I framed. So I am so much more mindful of that now. Once you separate the picture from the frame, you realize the frame's just a frame. Oh, this is something I picked up at like the Christmas tree shop or Michael's or what was the name of the place I worked? I can't even remember. Deck the Walls. Blast from the past. It was like 20 years ago. This is just a frame. The frame has no story. The story was the picture. You can then donate the frame somewhere else. Some other person might want it at a thrift store for a craft or a picture they have and they can't afford a new one. So notice this. That's a thing, Gen X girl. And I'm Gen X too, so we can do this. You know? Yeah, Shell says we both like a clean house, so that helps, although I'm still pickier. Yep. Here's an interesting thing I will share with you from a perspective. I am not gender assigning this, but it was an interesting observation that, I was at the factory, Third Man Records in Detroit. My husband and I went there, and because we have good luck and karma is our friend, we ended up getting on a personal tour of the factory with Jack White's brother, I think, gave the tour. Thank you to the guy who let us tag along. And one of the things he said was that the women who work there are a little bit more detail-oriented and stuff, and they are a little bit more attention to detailing. So, yeah, you may be more attention to detailing than your mate. So just notice that If the details bug you, then you know that's where you're going to go. Because then when you resolve those details, I feel better. I feel better now. I feel better now that I dusted some of this stuff here. My husband didn't care, obviously, because, I mean, look at all this dust. So judgy. So it's okay. But Funkin' Free, let me get back to you. Yes, that's why I struggle decisions. Decision making is a skill. Decision making is a muscle. Decision making is something that you will get better at the more you show up and practice it. Now think about going to the gym. I myself have a strength training class later today. I haven't been in a week or two because of just schedule-y things. And am I going to go there and immediately pick up the heaviest weight? No. I'm going to start small. I am going to start small, but I'm going to start. So I share this with you to say, don't try to make the big decisions first. Build up your muscle. Eat your spinach, like Popeye. Practice making decisions on small things, and as you get better with the smaller weights, try a decision on a bigger thing. And how did that work out? And then try a decision on a bigger thing. Gradually, step by step, increasing the weight of your decisions calms down your nervous system. A struggle is a tension between two things. When you decide on one or the other, you resolve it, and then you see the result of that decision. Did that work out? Cool, I'll make more decisions like that. Did it not work out the way you want? Okay, what can you learn from it so you iterate and do something different the next time? Okay? Julie Rose just said, Pier 1. What are you? Following me? Julie Rose, I spent many, many years in the 80s and 90s, I guess 80s and 90s, working at Pier 1, shopping at Pier 1. I could tell you the SKU of a votive candle holder like that in a Prima shelving unit and a Papasan chair. Now the funny thing is I go to World Market. I don't know if you guys have any of those. World Market totally gives me flashbacks to Pier 1. Okay, so I'm going to back up a little bit here. Okay, yeah, LA 64367-867-5309 says, one of my sons was so organized, would go through his whole room, he would say, oh no, it's happening again. He was very good at it. Yeah, I will share with you, one of the reasons I am so good at what I'm doing is because I grew up in the opposite. I grew up with collectory, cluttery parents. I am still helping to dig out my mother's house because my dad died 14 years ago, but I am that way because I'll share this with you. I know this about myself, so I'm cool sharing it with you. When you feel like you can't control anything around you, it feels better when you can control something. Now, some people control, I don't know, a whole bunch of things. I'm thinking of like the amount of food they ate or all that kind of stuff. I know that if I felt bad in chaos, it made me feel better to have things neat and orderly. I remember making forts as a kid, making a little kind of like bachelorette pad, like literally under my bed as a kid, and setting my little clock radio there and having my stuffed animals and, making it like it was my own pad because it made me feel comfortable and safe and calmed down to have control over what I could control. I couldn't control what my parents did. It wasn't my house. I mean, it was my house, but it wasn't. So if you're feeling out of control about maybe what's going on outside of the walls of your house, how about learning to change the world starting inside the walls of your house? Yeah. Now, Funkin' Free says, thank you. I have been looking at my stuff differently, and it is helping. Chef's kiss. That's why I'm here. That's why I show up and do these TikTok lives pretty much every day. Except for when I'm traveling, and I do like to travel. But then even sometimes I do the pop-ups. If you want to know all about all of that stuff, I highly recommend, and that was the other thing too. What did I say? Oh, a couple of things. And I wrote notes to myself because if I don't write it down, I may forget it. So salt shaker, yeah. On my mailing list, I'm just throwing it out there. If you're on the mailing list, I'm going to send a reminder today. And if you want to get on my mailing list, I'll send the reminder as well. Kimberly, thank you so much for the flowers. Mailing list people get first dibs on all sorts of good stuff. They get dibs on the schedule of my TikTok lives. They get a free downloadable habit tracker. This is mine. I just wanted to let you guys know. 2 days ago, this thing was blank. Then I was helping a client with it, and we worked on it together. And now I'm back in the saddle again, as Steven Tyler would say. Or who was that cowboy guy? Anyhow. And actually today, check it out. Morning vitamins, fiber, and fish oil. Crossing it off. Checking it out. Morning walk. I did a morning walk. Have I gotten my morning water? Not yet, but I'm working on it. You get a free one of these. You have access to that. But also, this is the thing I'm wicked excited about, is this Sunday, once a month, I do a I do a Zoom call just for the people on the mailing list. If you want to get on the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. This Sunday, we're doing a declutter party. Now, I experimented with this over the summer, and we did it with paperwork. We did it in October, and it was a general declutter, and everybody had such a good time, and they said, more please, that I listened to my people. If this is going to help you, I'm here to help you. So this Sunday, I can't remember what time, but you are invited, if you're on the mailing list, you will be invited to this free Zoom gathering of us getting onto Zoom. You declutter your stuff, I declutter my stuff, we check in. We go, yay, 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 struggle, struggle, release the struggle, go do it again, tidy up, an hour. Man, you'll be surprised at how much you get done. Okay? Yep. So notice that. Yeah, LA 64367, here's a funny thing. The other son was a complete opposite. He had piles, but he knew where everything was in those piles. Yeah, that's my parents. It is. I will share with you. My dad worked in the same company, not in the same office. I'm sure they moved him place by place, literally for 28 years before he retired. He was a Luddite. He was a paper-based guy. He had no interest in computers, and he was lucky enough to have some admin that he's like, here's a paper thing, do whatever that stuff is. He was totally old-fashioned. When he retired, it took him 9 of those giant rolling industrial-sized barrels for recycling to empty out his office. Now, they must have really liked him, and he must have done good work to put up with that crap. But I just share with you that I know what it's like on all sides, many sides of the clutter, okay? If that works for your son and he doesn't want to change, don't try to change somebody who's really resistant to change, unless it's affecting you, and then you do have a say in it, you know? So, just saying that. Hey, Abbott Elementary. Just unpacked backpack 100%. Yes! Remember around this time last year when you and I were first working together and you didn't unpack, you hadn't been unpacking your backpacks 100%, and then when you did after we started working together, you found those diamond earrings? Now, how cool is it to just, unpacked at 100% and it feels so good? Yeah, this is where I always like to say in my Gen X way, cue the Chuck Mangione. Ba, 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 da. Feels so good. Get it? It's on the Destination Decluttered Spotify playlist. I guess I should put a link to that on the secret place where everybody on the mailing list goes to find stuff. Roy Rogers, thank you, Gigi Gina. Yeah. All right. Helen, I'll be honest. Okay, Kat is asking, do you start by room? Sure. There's really no wrong way. It's really hard to F up decluttering. Except doing it too fast and then later regretting some things that you tossed out in a fit. Other than that, it doesn't really matter where you start. Trust yourself. If you want to start in whatever room, start where it feels the easiest to you. Okay, Kat? Just start where it feels simple and easy, but just get going. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. Once you get going, I got rhythm, I got music. You know what I mean? Just get on, get in the flow, yo. Now, Helen is asking what time is the Zoom. I think it's 1 p.m. It might be noon. Again, I'm not going to rely on my brain for those details. The good news is I don't have to because they're written down somewhere. And if you're on the mailing list, you know when that will be. And if you're getting on the mailing list, later this afternoon when I send out the reminder, you'll be included in that too. Okay? So, boop, boop, ba-doop. Okay, and somebody says, Jeannie for Jeannie says, can you do it during the week sometime? I work then. Maybe? Maybe. I'll experiment with it. I'll see how it goes. And I love it. Sherry Hooper says, I'm always cleaning and decluttering while I listen to you. I love it. I guess I'm the bell. Am I the bell or the dog food or the dog in the Pavlovian thing? But if you see me and say, hey, I want to, I feel like I could declutter. It helps. Yeah. Jackie Ray Knowles Miller is saying, what does it look like to work with you? It looks like this. It does. It seriously, it looks like you and me on Zoom. I work with clients all over the country on Zoom. I never go into somebody's house. Doesn't matter. I don't need to be in your house to help you with your clutter, because your clutter is not out there. It's really out up here and in here. So I have a 10-session package, paid coaching. I have clients that are on their first package. I have clients that are on their second. I have clients anywhere from their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and beyond. I don't know. We get together one day a week, an hour, like on the same day at the same hour, for like basically 10 weeks in a row. Sometimes with my clients who've been with me for a while, we do every other. And actually in 2025, I know I have some people that just want that occasional accountability thing, so I'll probably do once a month with them. But it's flexible. But it's always a 10-session package, and that package is a price. Now, the reason I don't say the price right now is I don't want to scare anybody off, because it's not scary. I'm actually not increasing my prices. My prices will not increase at the end of the year, as they have done subsequent years, because I want to cut people some slack. But I don't want you to say, oh, I can't afford that, like right off the bat, until you know what it's going to get you. So we sit down and we work together, and this is the beauty of one-on-one. Kind of like I said, going to the gym before. This is like, instead of looking at a workout video, maybe you're going to, or then the next level would be going to the gym and doing it by yourself and trying to do it, but you don't know if you're doing it right or not. And then maybe you get into a group class. One-on-one is like having your own personal trainer. I observe you. You tell me where you're stuck and what you want to work on, and I look at what you're doing and how you're doing it, and together I say, hey, you know what I noticed is right here, if you just do this a little bit differently, that might change your outcome. So go experiment with that. And I have a set of tools and processes. It's nothing too cumbersome, but we pull out where you're stuck, we get you unstuck. And then you practice that, and then you do some decluttering, and if it works, you go, yay, and if it didn't work, you get curious. And then the next week you show up and say, here's what worked, yay! Here's what didn't work. Okay, let's get curious and change it again. And then lather, rinse, repeat. So that's how the coaching works with me. If you're interested in that, I will share. Just this morning, I realized I have yet to update my calendar for more coaching consultations. I will be doing that again this afternoon. So a lot of stuff will be updated within the next 12 hours. So if you look on my website, destinationdecluttered.com, and you see how to work with me, and you go to click on your schedule and you say, wait a minute, there's only like one consultation available, because it always starts with a consultation, then seriously give me like 6 hours and I'll get it done. Okay? Yeah. Hawkeye said, we really did listen to the same music. Of course, because we didn't have the infinity of the internet. We had the same things to look for. That's one of the things that connects us, is our similar pop culture past. You know? And Love Unites, I am East Coast time. I am East Coast represents all the time, so I leave it, I trust, when I try to make the changes of the times with my brain, I inevitably end up confusing people. So I show up as the constant, and anytime I talk about a time, it's on East Coast. You might hear it in my voice if I say water bubbler, or get a hoagie, or down a shore, or tonic instead of soda. So I am East Coast, and then wherever you are, just do the pluses or minuses. Okay? All right. Now, Lisa G, this is really interesting. I have so many clothes. Awesome. Means you'll never go naked. But hate parting with them. If I were your coach, I'd get interested in what was behind the hate parting with them. That's where coaching is going to help you. I need a list of what is appropriate amount to keep. Now, it's not a number. It's not a number. It's more a spatial thing. It's more a feeling thing. It depends. It depends on you. How much space do you have? But here's the thing. when you have plenty of storage, that can give you the excuse not to declutter. There is no magic number. Except for 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. Start with 3 things. Maybe you only need 3. I have 3 hoodies. I have I don't even know how many, the number of clothes I have. I know I have enough that I can wear stuff clean and then still do do some laundry and then wear it again. You know, it's not a number, it's a feeling. Okay? So Jackie, if you're interested, first thing to do will be to get on my mailing list, because when you're on the mailing list, again, destinationdecluttered.com/join, when I update all that stuff, I will immediately send an email to the people on the mailing list to be like, you guys, don't forget about Sunday. I uploaded this thing and I might do some other fun things too. Okay? Sherry Hooper in Southern Maine. Nice to see you. I'm going to Portland after Christmas. Looking forward to it. I'm trying to sort out and store my summer clothes. Southern Maine here. Yeah. Couple of things, because I've been doing the same. I don't know about you guys, but down here, so I live outside of Philly, it has been unseasonably warm and it has finally gotten to November feeling weather. I am doing this incrementally. Case in point, so I offer this to you, is that kind of all or nothing. Do it. It can be done a little bit at a time. I took some clothes out of the dryer today. They had accumulated for, I don't know, a week, 10 days, whatever. I was wearing some of those clothes when it was warmer out. As I folded those clothes, I noticed that I had lighter socks that I wear in the fall. Now I'm in my thick sock season. Sock. Did you hear me say that? Socks. S-O-C-K-S. So when I was putting my socks together, I categorized them. These are my thick socks. These are my thinner socks. I put my thick socks back away in the drawer of my bureau, and then the lighter socks went over closer to, maybe not in right way, but the plastic tote that has my summer clothes in it. So doing it a little bit more at a time. Okay? And here's a wonderful thing. Mamuski. Currently decluttering books and still find I'm keeping more than not. That's okay. This is not a one and done process. This is like weeding the garden. This is like you do a pass and then you notice, how did that work? Well, it was something. Good. Yay. Celebrate what you've done. Don't beat yourself up on what you haven't done. Maybe your nervous system isn't ready yet to let go of those books. Get curious about that. And that's where coaching is getting curious about the story in your head that is causing your hand to hang on to those books. And not all those books. Look at me, jazz hands. Not all those books. Each book probably has its own story. I read this book and I really enjoyed it. I want to keep it. This book was expensive. I want to show off to people that I have this coffee table book on my coffee table. This book I haven't read yet, but I want to. This book I thought I wanted to read, but I don't know if I want to read it again, but somebody recommended it or they gifted it to me. Each piece may have a different story. Slow down your car enough, slow down yourself enough to listen to the stories in you about your items. Those stories are what are causing you to hang on to them. If you don't listen to them, you will continue to hang on to them. Now, after you listen to them, you may still hang on to some things. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you also may be more easily able to part with, to release those books out into the wild. Now, the neat thing is, I don't know about you, but I bet you go to littlefreelibraries.com. I bet in Southern Maine, you have some people around you who have those little free library things. I know we have them here. I was in Boulder, Colorado last weekend, 2 weekends ago. I finished a book. I looked up and we were able to walk to a place and I put it in somebody's free library. How fun was that? Now somebody else can go find that book. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Sherry. Okay. I need to go through my 8-year-old's books. Ugh, I'm afraid to pass my clutter life on to my daughter. Let me help you with that. Please engage her in the decluttering. Teach her by action. Bring her along with the journey. Declutter with her. Okay? Declutter with her. Do not declutter at her or for her. Don't do it alone. Teach her the skill, the life skill of decluttering. Because you may inadvertently pitch a book that she freaking loves, even though she may not read it anymore. You also may have a reason to save a certain book that she's like, no, I'm ready to go. Get the other person engaged with this. Now, I love this. Lisa said she's 20 minutes from Boulder. LA 64367, you're in the Denver area. You just said something about snow. I am so glad we are not there when it is snowy. But we look forward to going back to Denver. Actually, you guys, this is one of those like little asides. We went out because my nephew is going to school in Boulder, and we took him to Casa Bonita. Oh my God, what a trip that place was. You know, I love that I missed the snow, because even though I'm from the Northeast, I am an early bird and a snowbird. Those are the kind of birds I am. Okay. Jackie joined the mailing list. Awesome. Usually if I was on my own computer, I'd just be making sure it worked, but it sounds good. Yeah. Now Anna says, I've lost weight down 2 sizes and I feel I should just adjust the clothes. Yeah. Adjust the clothes. Adjust the clothes. You don't have to keep them all in store. Like, look at what I did. It's getting colder, so I'm pulling the clothes I know I'm not going to wear for a while, and I'm putting them in a plastic tote. This plastic tote lives, at the bottom of my closet. When it gets warmer, I'll do the switcheroo. If you are, and here's the thing, fear. Fear has so much to do with what we hang on to. I am not kidding you. Being afraid to let it go because you might need it again. I'm afraid to let that go because what if I gain weight again? And I don't want to have to go buy more, bigger clothes. I'm afraid to let go of that because what if I need a punch bowl in the future? I'm afraid to let go of that because that was a gift from somebody, and if they come to my house and they don't see me using it, they're going to be mad at me, and I don't want to be mad. That would be causing a fight. So I'll just hang on to this thing that just makes me go, ugh. Fear keeps us stuck. Love gets us moving again. Okay? There we go. I love it, Hawkeye. I didn't even know. I use the Little Free Library app. Didn't even know there was an app. I check off if there's one near me and drop it off. Now, I know in my little town there are some, so that's what I do. I go look at them. I find books. If I like it, it's great. If I don't, I just put them back in there. Notice these things are all in constant flow. You own things temporarily. You are just the steward of it. You are just the caretaker of that thing from where it came, then it came to you. If you want it, keep it. Take care of it. Love it. If you don't, let it go to somebody else who might be able to do that. Yeah, LA64367 is saying, I'm at a point where I want to get rid of everything. If you did that, you would be naked. Your house would be empty. No, don't get rid of everything. Now, I know what I like to call the voice in your head, the backseat driver. This is what I call the backseat driver. I want to get rid of everything. The drama queen. No, you probably want to get rid of a wicked lot of stuff, as we would say up in Mass. But you don't want to get rid of everything. But notice the stuff that you do want to get rid of. Get rid of that stuff. Clutter is not the good stuff. Clutter is the stuff that you don't want anymore. And the struggle is because part of you wants it, and part of you doesn't. Part of you is afraid to let it go, and part of you does want to let it go. And it's that, should I stay or should I go? So you got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Yeah. All right, so Debbie says in Texas, and we don't have seasons, so hard to keep everything from t-shirts to sweaters in the closet. So notice that you need to work on the quantities of items you have because it needs to fit in your closet. Just notice that. That's one of the reasons I do some switcheroo with my clothing is because we live in a house that was built in the 50s. Our closets are tiny. I can't keep my summer and winter clothes out at the same time. If I had a bigger closet, I probably wouldn't do. I don't know why I keep on calling it the switcheroo today, but I probably wouldn't do that if I had the space. But I don't have the space for all of it, so I categorized it. These are my warm weather clothes. These are my cold weather clothes. Even today, notice I'm wearing like this hoodie. I haven't worn it in a while because it's getting cold. Yeah. There we go. Kimberly gutted her Christmas, and I'm hosting a bunko. I've heard that word, and giving away all my items as gifts. Love it. There we go. Sherry Hooper says, I'm going to take a few boxes of books in my car and spread the love. Yeah. Yeah, went through. That's fine. You know what? Spell check. AI. Yeah. Where to donate clothes and other things. Planet Be Secret. This is the wonderful thing about the internet. First of all, I don't know. because I don't know where you live. If you lived in my town, I could tell you specific places. The neat thing is I don't have to have that answer for you to find the answer because we have Google. Where can I donate clothes in my area? Where can I donate other things in my area? Growing up as a thrifter, as a trash picker, as a garage sailor, a vintage collector, all you need to do is scratch the surface, and you're going to find, if you're not aware of all the places that you can donate stuff, I have a wicked lot of them around me, but I don't know where you live, but you can find that out. And find the ones, and I share this, you're going to find places, what are the ones that feel easiest for you to declutter? Where are the easiest ones to go to? Remember I said earlier today, so I am, and again, I feel like I've only got 10 minutes. If you're new here, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Usually I'm not in this room. I do not play the guitar, but boy, does my husband play the guitar. I'm in his office because I felt like mixing it up. Why not? He's going to be home soon. He knows I'm here. Excuse me. What I want to offer is we have some stuff that we decluttered in the basement this weekend. I know that we have a Habitat for Humanity literally a few blocks from us. We also have a hospital thrift store a couple blocks from us. I know Habitat doesn't take clothes, and hospital thrift store doesn't take big pieces of furniture. So we divvy them up. And it's easy to take them there because they're close by. We also checked when they're open. So when my husband gets home from his music-y thing, we're going to load up the truck and move to Beverly. What am I? One of the Beverly Hillbillies? We're going to load up the car with the stuff that we decided we don't want anymore, and he's going to go drop them off there. You know? Yeah. Stephanie is offering, my area has a Facebook page called Buy Nothing, Pay Nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Loretta Joy, you are hit a really important thing, and this is why I'm mindful about this. Loretta is saying, how do I get over the fear of not being able to get another thing later? Because I've been poor before. Yeah. Notice the fear. You finally got that thing. You know what it feels like to not have things. Now that you have the thing, you know what it feels like to not have it, and you don't want that feeling again. But I just want to offer to you is, if you are thinking you don't want it or don't need it, at a certain point, you have made a really low-level, bass, rumbly decision that you don't want it anymore. There's part of you who doesn't want it. There's stuff that it's a no-brainer to you that you want to keep. But notice that fear of releasing it is caused by, well, what if I need it in the future? This is going to help you. Notice what people are saying that have too much. They are going to a buy nothing store thing. They're going to a thrift store to donate things. So I ask you this. Decluttering is also item by item, or, category by category. Think of one specific item that you're kind of struggling with, and ask yourself, if I gave this away and later on I realized I could have used it, how could I get it into my life again to use it that one time? You could go to a buy nothing group. You could go to a thrift store. You could call a friend to see if you could borrow one. Maybe you could buy one on the cheap. I try to avoid that myself. Is there something that could perform that function that isn't the thing that you gave away? Tia, you came right into my life at the right time. Thank you. Here I am. I do these a wicked lot. But please, what I offer to you as a decluttering life coach is decluttering your life, but also decluttering but life coach. Notice that your decision is based in a fear. Notice that. Just notice it. Yeah, you're right. I'm afraid to get rid of that thing because I'm afraid to not have it because I know what it's like to be afraid. Now, I know what it's like to not have stuff. I know what it's like to live in a cold house because my propane ran out and I couldn't afford to fill the tank again. I know what it's like to not have a lot of money in the bank. I know that fear gets you clinging on to what you have. Now, clinging on to the good stuff, no big deal. But clinging on to stuff that part of you was also like, I don't really need that. It's feeling safe enough to release things at a little bit of a time. You know, a piece at a time. Start with the easy stuff. Start with the easy stuff. Debbie, here I am. I love it. Sherry Hooper, here, let me unblock your thing right here. Just emptied and folded 3 baskets. Now, not to put them back in the basket. Yeah, notice that's a habit, my dear. Okay. Now, we've got 6 minutes left here, and then I sign off, and then sometime today, I'm going to send out an email to the people on the mailing list, reminding them of Sunday's declutter party. What else? Other stuff, other cool things. I don't send out a lot of emails. If you have a fear of signing up for my mailing list because I'm going to flood you with a lot of automatic emails, boy howdy, I am not that person. I freaking hate automatic emails. I can smell the insincerity a mile away. I am Gen X. My nose is attuned to insincerity like nobody's business. So I make sure I don't do that to people. Every email I send out is when I feel like, hey, I've got enough stuff that I want to share with people. Oh, that's right. I should probably remind them of this thing we're doing on Sunday. So they are organic and they are not scheduled. They are scheduled when my human body and I think I have something to share. Same thing with my TikTok lives. Now, the TikTok lives, I do schedule in advance, so I make sure that I have time to show up for you guys. I also, schedule my clients. So I share this with you because I show up and do TikToks, and it's not just about clutter, but it is. Okay? It's about you feeling safe, calming down your nervous system, taking care of yourself. And when you feel even incrementally better, saying, okay, what can I do with my clutter? What can I do within these 4 walls of my house to make me feel better? And then listening for that answer in you, and then writing down that answer, get like your steno pad and be like, Stella on, what do you call it? Perry Masonry. Write down those good ideas in your head and then do those good ideas in your head. Yeah, 80s Girl Forever says, me too, I'm Gen X. Those types of regurgitating emails don't even get read from me. No, to me, it's false connection. I am a freaking genuine person. You will always get the real me because it's just too much of an effort to try to pretend to be somebody else. I think I'm co-opting Oscar Wilde when I say that. Ellen, I wish you could join us on Sunday, but I'm going to do them in the future too. Okay? So, Hannah says, isn't she the greatest? Isn't he the greatest? Charlie Brown. Aw, I'm so Sally. I am like Sally and Lucy. And Linus and Charlie Brown. And Peppermint Patty. And probably not the little red-haired girl. I'm totally like Snoopy. We are all Charlie Browns. But notice this is Kimberly says, thanks for encouraging all of us. Okay, yes. How to join the mailing list. Sorry, Stephanie. DestinationDecluttered.com. Actually, when you get off of this, when I sign off in 3 minutes, you can go to like the home page of my TikTok page. And there's a thing there that says DestinationDecluttered.com/links. Just hit that button after you follow my TikTok page. And that will bring you to a list of all the good stuff. Where to sign up for the mailing list, how to sign up for coaching, yada, yada. Okay? Yeah. There we go. Similar hairstyle. Easy to maintain. Yes. And sassy. I saw myself in profile yesterday. I was like, it looks pretty good. So notice what you can do within the 4 walls of your house. Making yourself feel better, and when you feel better, you can do better. So start in here. If you're not feeling good today, what can you do to help yourself feel better? Okay? I've been doing this myself. I was in a deep ditch last week. I made poor choices of what to eat, what to drink, how to move my body, if to move my body, to go out and connect with people or stay under the covers. I need to feel better because I need to be strong to create the world I want within my 4 walls and outside of it. This is about clutter, but it's also a scalable life skill to say, if there's something, if you got a problem, I'll solve it. If there's something that's bugging you, you can do something about it. It's funny, I'm hearing strange things outside. Oh, you know what? They're decluttering the leaves outside. That's what that is. Now, I love this. Barb Young is saying, got my dishes done while listening to you. Awesome. Okay, Judy, if you're still feeling that way, that is okay. This is what helped me, so I will sign off with this in the hopes that it helps you. What I said to myself was, what's the tiniest, itsy bitsiest little thing I can do today to feel a little bit better than yesterday? Mine was drink water a little more, move my body a little more, get out into the fresh air a little more, connect with the people I love a little more, eat something more healthy a little more. Okay? All those baby steps. You deserve to feel better. And when you feel better, you're going to do better, not just for yourself, but for the world. Or not just for the world, but also yourself. Okay? Judy, you got this. You know I'm here for you. Okay? Oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock. Why did I think it was going to be 10 o'clock when it hit? Whatever. All right? I know I'm going to do a TikTok live tomorrow. I don't know when it is. I'm going to be looking at the place where the schedule is. Maybe you will be too. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Get on my mailing list. Take care of yourself so we can take care of each other. Okay?